Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG Spoiler Edition, and we are here to talk about Modern Horizon 2 spoilers again. We've got some more spoilers on the holiday weekend, and they are some sweet ones. So before we get started with the big news, remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and don't forget to put a comment down below, especially like, even dislike if you don't want, and help feed that algorithm that YouTube has so these videos get viewed to more people. And with that said, let's hit the big topic nail on the head, number one, and start it off with the biggest news that we have. That's right, guys, Shardless Agent. It has been previewed. It is reprinted in Modern Horizons 2. It will now be legal in Modern. So, what does that mean? It's hard to say, guys. So, for those of you who don't know, this is Shardless Agent. Obviously, this is not the English version, but it is previewed. Now, with that said, I'll tell you what it does. So, it's a blue, a green, and a colorless for a 2/2 with Cascade. If you guys don't know what Cascade is, when you cast the creature, you Cascade, which means you reveal the top cards of your library until you reveal a card that has a mana cost less than Shardless Agent. So, that'd be a 2/1 or a 0. And then you get to choose whether or not to cast that card for free. This is a legacy mainstay. And it's blue, it's green, you can shardless into a Tarmogoyf. I mean, it's it's better than Bloodbraid Elf because it's cheaper. Yeah, Bloodbraid Elf is one more, and you can get Planeswalkers off of it. But with this one, you could shardless into Wrenn and 6. You could shardless into any other 2 casting cost Planeswalker. Like I said, there's Tarmogoyf, Death Shadow, discard spells, removal, you name it. This is going to make the brand new blue-green deck of style choice. This is a mainstay in Legacy. It's a big card. It was real big in Modern. It got banned because it was so good. And now it is back. Um, I just don't know what to say. Like, this is a big shakeup for the Modern format, guys. This is really going to drive the price up of Shardless Agent. Before it was the card wasn't really all that expensive because it was only Legacy legal, so not a lot of people played Legacy. I mean, some of us do, for some of us old cats. But now that it's in Modern, this is going to be a very high demand card. And this is only a rare. This is easily going to be 10, 20, maybe $30 rare depending on what kind of decks creep up around this. But I don't see anything but just big powerhouse decks coming out of this. Like, you could play Bant, you could uh, Shardless into a Stoneforge Mystic. I mean, the possibilities are endless. For 3 mana, you can get a 2/2, a 1/2, get an equipment out of your deck. Batter Skull, a sword, the brand new Caldera Complete, busted card. I mean, the possibilities are endless. This is going to rock the modern world. So, there's not many more spoilers. I could talk about this all day long, and maybe I'll even talk later about this card some more when I do the video of the shape of Modern, or what Modern looks like after Modern Horizon 2 comes out, because the format is being worked by Modern Horizons 2. So, moving on, guys. Next we have Weather the Storm, basic reprint. It's a green and colorless. It has Storm. You can gain 3 life. Storm is for every spell cast before this one, you copy this spell. So if you cast, if you get Lightning Bolted twice and you cast this, you gain 3 life for this one, and it copies itself 2 more times, so forth and so on. Simple reprint, nothing too great. It's a great counter to the Grape Shot Storm deck. But that deck's not really real popular right now, but it may be soon. Moving on, we have Arcurus Acolyte. Now, this is very interesting. It's a green and a white for a 2/2. It's a cleric human archer, which is very interesting because archer is a D&D thing along with cleric. So this may have some real good D&D replications when it comes out. It has reach and lifelink, so that's pretty cool. It does have Outlast for a green and a white, which is really nice. And it says for each other creature you control, the +1/+1 counter on it. Each other creature you control without a +1/+1 counter on it has Outlast. And if you don't know what that means for a green, I think for whatever the Outlast cost is, you can tap it, put a counter on it, so forth and so on. Not the best card in the world. We've definitely seen better things, like, you know, Voice of Resurgence, just to name one card that's a green and a white. So I don't think it's going to make very big waves, but it'd probably be a really cool deck for those EDH players out there who like to play those counters. Moving on. Next, we have Tide Shaper. Now, this is something special. So it's a 1 blue, 1/1 Merfolk Wizard. Um, it gets +1/+1 as long as the opponent controls an island. So that's pretty cool. 2/2 Merfolk for 1. But the sweet thing about it is it has a kicker of 1 colorless, which means you can kick this, and when kicked, it makes target land an island for as long as you hold Tide Shaper in play. This is a way for blue to actually mess with people's mana sources. Um, it's also a way to make landwalk abilities matter. Not to mention the fact that for 2 mana you get a 2/2. And could this be the makings of a new Merfolk deck for Modern? It's very possible. And nothing else, those commander guys out there would just love to have a new Merfolk. So moving on, we have the Raving Visionary. So for a blue and colorless, it's a 1/1. For a blue and tap, you can draw and discard a card. So it's basically a Merfolk looter, but you got to pay mana for it. But once you hit Delirium, which is when you have 4 or more card types among the cards in your graveyard, for 3 you can just tap it and just draw a card. So that's pretty sweet. Will it see a lot of Modern play? No, way too mana intensive. Real sweet for all those commander decks out there. Another way to draw and discard or just draw in general. So it won't have a big impact on Modern, but might be some commander decks out there that really like this one. Moving on, we have the Skyblade's Boon. There's a white and a colorless for a aura enchantment. You enchant a creature, it gets +1/+1 and flying. Not too bad. For a white and 2 colorless, you return the boon to its owner's hand. Activate it only if the boon is on the battlefield or in your graveyard. So this is not going to be a Modern thing just because it's way too much mana, way too mana intensive. 2 and then 3 to return it, and 2 to cast it again. But in commander decks, this might be the cool thing to have just to give your stuff flying, +1/+1 to kind of get those special creatures that when they hit your opponent, they give you special abilities to get them in there. And if they do deal with the creature and this goes to the graveyard, when you got some free time, you just pick it back up. Also, if you put this into your graveyard and someone makes you discard, you can pick this back up and then discard it for 3 mana so you don't actually lose any cards in your hand. So it's got a lot of utility, especially in commander, but I think it's way too mana intensive for modern. Moving on, we have what is the Abhorrent Gravedigger. So this one is 2 black and 2 instead of the normal 1 black and 3. You get a zombie warlock with death touch, and it's a 2/2, so it's your basic gravedigger. When it enters the battlefield, though, you search your library for a card and then you put it into your graveyard. So this will probably be cool for some EDH decks out there, commander decks and so forth, any singleton decks. But as far as being in modern, this is not going to be a thing because 4 mana is way too much and this card just does not do enough. Moving on to the next one, we have Chainer. Chainer is back, guys. I really do like this guy. It's Chainer Nightmare Adept. This is a reprint, I believe. It is a black, red 2 for a 3/2 legendary creature human minion. And you discard a card, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard this turn. Activate the ability only once each turn. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if you didn't cast it from your hand, it gains haste till the end of the turn. So it's a lot of weird abilities. The best thing about this is the ability to cheat stuff in from your graveyard. But because it's 4 mana and it's a 3/2, and the fact that you have to play it and then you probably don't have any mana to cheat anything in, I don't see it being a thing unless that you start some weird evoke chain with this where you evoke something out of the graveyard, if that's even possible, or some weird shenanigans. Great EDH card, commander singleton card. Not going to see any impact in modern. So moving on, we have the Combine Chrysalis. Now this is very interesting when I looked at it. So this is a blue and a green. It says creature tokens you control have flying. Now for a blue, green, and 2 colorless, you can tap this. You can sacrifice a token, and then you create a 4/4 green beast creature token. You can only activate as a sorcerer, so you can only do it on your turn. But if you use this and you make tokens, like I don't know, squirrels, all your squirrels have flying for 1, and then every turn for 4 mana, you could turn a squirrel into a 4/4 flyer. It feels a lot like Thopter Foundry, but less usable. But I think it's still good because of what it does. As far as modern play goes, this is not going to be a modern thing. You've got better things to do in blue and green than this. But as far as like Commander, EDH, and Singletons, uh, this is definitely going to be a sweet thing to have in your deck for those token decks. It's just too cool. So you Commander guys out there, congratulations, you got yourself a good one. Moving on. Next here we have Tireless Provisioner. Sounds familiar. It's an Elf Scout. It's a green and 2. It's a 3/2. Seems a lot like Tireless Tracker. Well, let's take a look. It has a landfall ability. Imagine that just like Tireless Tracker does. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a food token or a treasure token. So, uh, this is really interesting. It doesn't make clues, so you can either get a food that you can actually gain mana off of, or gain life off of, or a mana ramp. So this is not a tireless tracker. It's kind of like tireless trackers, um, less useful cousin. Um, but they're really pushing this whole token theme. So this might be a thing in modern, but I seriously doubt it, just because the food and mana ramp aren't really a thing for modern. Now, with that said, this in those token decks, with um, the white thing it doubles tokens and the other thing it doubles tokens and so forth and so on. Like this could be a serious thing in a commander deck that's nothing about tokens, because you can lay land and just flood the field full of tokens, especially if you can make more than one land drop a turn, or if you play a fetch land or any land you sack to get another land. Like the possibilities are endless. I see this being a great commander EDH singleton style card. Um, don't see any real use for this in modern. Tireless Tracker's only played one or two of because of the mana cost, but it's a great cheap card to give you advantage in the late game. This doesn't do that because it doesn't let you draw cards. So, um, once again, congratulations, Commander players. Moving on, so we have the Archon of Cruelty. So this is really sweet, guys. It's 2 black and 6. I know it's 8 mana, so that immediately means it's not going to see modern play. It's a 6/6. It's flying. Whenever the Archon of Cruelty enters the battlefield or attacks, target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. It discards a card. They lose 3 life. You draw a card, and you gain 3 life. Boy, it'd be really cool if you get this on a battlefield. It didn't cost 8 mana. Like some kind of graveyard shenanigan that would put it into play for 2 mana, almost like a animate dead and make it a 5/5. Oh wait, there's a card like that in this set, ain't there? Yeah. So with that said, guys, 8 mana is not gonna see modern play, but graveyard shenanigans, reanimator decks, I think are coming back pretty strong. They've got a lot of good creatures to choose from. Not only do you have Grizzlebrand, but now you have this. If this thing swings on somebody, sweet mother of God. If you Goro's Vengeance this, woof, or not, you can't really Goro's Vengeance, not legendary, but you know what I'm saying. There's lots of things that could cheat this into play to make this absurd. So, yeah, if there's a good graveyard shenanigan deck out there or some way to get to cheat this in, then this is going to be a serious thing. And with that said, all you EDH and Commander players out there, you can revel in the awesomeness of what this card can do for you. I'm not even going to get into that. It's just absurd. Um, yeah, so moving on. All right, so check it out, guys. We got a new Goyf. We have a necrogoid. This is hilarious. 2 black and 3 for a Loigoyf. His power is equal to the number of creatures in all graveyards, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player discards a card. Um, so not shabby. It does have madness for 2 black and 1. It's got a base toughness of 4, so it's easily killable by other creatures for the most part. Um, but this thing could be a serious contender. Yeah, it's 5 mana, guys. But if you get this on the field and it starts making you discard, you can discard other Goyfs to it to activate the madness and play those Goyfs for 3. Um, with that said, though, I think 5 mana starter is gonna make this way too hard to play unless there's some way to cheat it in. And if I want to cheat something in, I want to cheat that big 6/6 in we just talked about. Um, I mean, maybe this is a good second, but I think a good second is Grizzlebrand. So, you know. Now, with that said, once again, Commander EDH Singleton players of the world, uh, congratulations on another sweet card. Because imagine playing this in a 4 or 6 player Commander game. You're like, oh, I have a Necrogoid. Guess what? Every turn, everybody's discarding a card. Yeah, this will make a lot of friends at that Commander table. Let me tell you what, guys. So yeah, probably not gonna see modern play have too big of an impact, but definitely a fun card. I love the nostalgia, love the flavor. I'm just glad it got printed just because I think it's sweet. Not to mention we have the altar of Goyf. I mean, what more do you want in life? So moving on, I think we might have one more. Oh nope, that looks like that is the end, guys. Like I said, not very many cards this time. Not very many spoiled over the weekend, but they were some sweet ones, and also Shardless Agent spoil. There was rumors. The man, the myth, the legend has arrived. Shardless Agent is here in Modern to wreck our world or make it so fun. Depends on how you look at it. Now, with all that said, guys, I really appreciate your time. Thanks again for watching. As always, check the description. I has an email in there in case you want to ask any questions or anything you want me to cover. You're welcome to email me. I'll respond as soon as I can. Also, put something in the comment section. I can get to you that way. Also in the description is my eBay store. Go in there and check it out. Buy you some cards since LGSs are opening back up and we're starting to play in person again. You're gonna need those singles. And all those singles in that store are from the box opening videos that are on this channel. And that's how I get all my singles, guys. I don't go out there. I don't trade with people. I very rarely buy Magic cards in bulk. If I do, I'll let you guys know. But most of those cards that I put on there are going to be from box openings, packed fresh, and you know what you get. You get to see and get opened and have a little piece of history there while you're at it. So, once again, guys, let's get out there, have some fun, play some Magic, get to your local LGS, support those vendors and those guys who have those small businesses. And as always, let's make Magic fun, enjoy ourselves, and be nice to people for a change. Let's enjoy this life. God knows it's bad enough without us making it worse. So, until next time, remember to be kind. This is your captain speaking, and I'll see you at the game tables.